Hi, I'm Amélie, Customer Success Manager at Odoo, and I'm thrilled to be with Dennis Van Haalen from Huddly, who came all the way from Norway to be with us today and share his experience with Odoo. Dennis, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit more about you and what you do at Huddly?
Sure. So my name is Dennis van Haalen. I'm the head of support and customer relations at Huddly. We are a video conference camera. What is special about our products is that they AI powered, which allows us to have multiple services running straight on the camera, which are built for Huddle, small, medium-sized meeting rooms, and as well with our new products, the L1 for bigger conference rooms. We also provide whiteboard cameras, which allows us to have a complete spectrum of meeting rooms environments.
Okay. And do you only work in Norway?
No, so we are literally a global company. So the position I occupy is providing support globally. We have quite a big team actually in the United States. We also have a certain amount of people working in EMEA. So we try to literally cover worldwide.
How many people, more or less, are in the company right now?
So we're growing rapidly. Over the last 5 years, we went all the way up to 90 employees and still counting. So I think before the end of the year, I literally believe we'll hit the hundreds. So it's
Wow.
exciting.
Yeah. And tell me, before Odoo, how was it? I mean, what are the challenges that you were facing that made you want to change ERP in the first place?
Good question. As a young company, because we are literally on the market for the last 5-6 years now, we bring in people from different companies that all want to contribute to the success of Huddly. That means as well that people intend to bring in their favorite systems or platforms. With time, it is not scalable because you have so many different entities that you need to interconnect together in order to have a correct data flow, and that's literally not scalable. So we have been using Odoo for 5 years for the CRM and the inventory platform, but you have so many others. We had around 20 to 25 different platforms in the very beginning, and over the years I tried to literally make them redundant and integrate them into Odoo, which allowed us to save quite some time and some money because we are integrating everything in one.
So you started with only two apps, CRM and inventory, and that was 5 years ago.
Yes.
So how did that, evolve in between these 5 years, and where are you now? How are you using Odoo now?
So I believe we're close to 18, 20 different modules today, simply because over time we are much more streamlined in regards of what we want to achieve. The different people that are being onboarded into Odoo really like the way Odoo is interacting and providing them those services. So that allowed me to shut down multiple platforms, have them onboarded first of all onto Odoo, but as a second, have them interconnected together, which allowed us to literally have a faster and smoother data flow from a prospect through the sales module all the way up to the delivery of our products at our end customers. We have quite a lot of big partners with who we work: Google, Lenovo, Crestron, and many more. And those deliveries are so important that we need to basically scale it up. And by reducing the complexity of external platforms, allowed us to provide our services much faster. So yeah.
Okay, so this integration between all apps is what really made you decide to go for Odoo.
Yes. So, for example, we have a new project where a certain amount of our products are because we try to everything is basically shipped from Norway globally, is to add new modules such as the warehouse module, the barcode module, so that we can literally receive by scanning, assemble, and ship out from different entities that work with us. So it is as easy as it is. It's literally, okay, we have a certain situation, let's add a module to it, because it's kind of that simple. And that's kind of what happened over the last 5 years. We make an external platform redundant, and we get it onboarded into Odoo. And I believe for in the future we'll add even more modules.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you have an idea already on what's coming next?
There's a certain amount of projects that we are working on. I think just in regards of Odoo, I have projects till Q3 2022, and I'm pretty sure that along the road we'll onboard modules, have more people working with it. Just in regard to the R&D departments, I have a certain amount of projects that will allow us to have that department onboarded as well. We have external partners that will be onboarded into Odoo as well. So there's literally a lot of projects ahead. So it's going to be exciting.
That's good. Good to know. And once you decided that you wanted to work with Odoo 5 years ago, how did you proceed exactly? Did you work on the project by yourself? Did you need the help of an integrating partner?
Right.
How did it go?
So in the very beginning, we used Odoo as our main partner in regard to the integration and implementation for the different projects.
Okay.
But as we're literally so fast growing, so much demand in regards to the platform itself, we actually seeked help from a local partner, Nueva IT.
Okay.
They literally assisted us on a more local area, and we moved over to Odoo SH, which allowed us to basically face that complexity even more. So yeah, it has been a really great help to have those guys with us for the last couple of years actually already.
Good. Now a tricky question. What would you say are the challenges that you faced or are still facing in the use of Odoo?
First of all, for the last 5 years, we have had so many different platforms, right? So many different people from so many different entities that want to bring their own way of working into the system. Odoo is so complex in a sense that you can do so much, despite of having a lot of things out of the box. It still allows you to do a lot of customization. So over the last 5 years, we have tried to take in consideration what everyone wanted to bring into the platform, and we're looking back at those 5 years, and we're actually realizing that Odoo offers much more than what we think it can offer. So we are realizing nowadays that we actually need to take a step back and potentially to change the way we work and basically adopt what Odoo offers us, because it might be faster and quicker without having to customize as much. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it was actually a question of adapting your way of working and trying to also have the employees follow this new path, which is we know change is never easy. So
no, that's the thing. That's literally the thing.
Okay, and since you've been using Odoo for 5 years now, do you have any concrete example on how using Odoo impacted your business?
With time, and by removing the additional platforms, getting them into Odoo as our complete ERP system allows us to have the data flow in a much more constructive much more constructive way that allows the different people to actually work in one environment as well, without having to toggle between different ones, which basically allows them to gain time, first of all. As a second, because Odoo is built in such way, we can use all those different modules in one without having to create additional API connections, which once again saves time, saves money, less complexity. With less complexity means we can move faster. So all those different components made us basically much more successful today.
Okay, so apart from the productivity, do you have any figures on, in terms of revenue, what really changed for you?
I think without providing you a concrete figure, by removing all those platforms, it allows me to build upon Odoo and customize, or have been customizing for the last 2 years without even reaching the actual budget that I've used in the past for all those platforms. So that means that I saved literally all that money, despite of having it customized and developing Odoo at the same time.
Okay.
So yes.
Good. All right. And how would you describe what the company value most about Odoo?
I think it's the simplicity. It's the easy of use. I think that's one of the main things. Besides that, because Odoo has so many different modules, it's so easy to work with. Allows us to literally move along with Odoo. Besides that, it is literally the partnership between Odoo and between our partner Nueva IT that allows us to rely on you guys in regards of advice to literally move to the next stage even easier or faster.
Okay. Well, for me, that's a wrap. Thank you very much for being here today and share your experience with us.
Thank you for having me, and then I look forward to moving along with Odoo. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Q&A session. Let's dive right in with this first question for you, Dennis. What are your next expectations from Odoo?
A lot of things to say. The collaboration has been extremely great from the start, and I literally look forward to even building up even more on the collaboration with Odoo and the different partners that are involved in Odoo. And our success as a first. As a second, it's literally evolve with the markets, propose even more software updates that we could use in the future as we grow quite rapidly, and the demands of the markets are rising as well. It is extremely important for us that Odoo continues to do as they do, and that's listen to the markets, to the partners, to the customers, and basically deploy whatever they can in their out-of-the-box software releases. So I hope that answers that questions.
Yes, thank you. I have another question here from Puya. What are the challenges you face as a hardware software company?
So the challenges that we have as a full stack company is basically to be able to cope with all the different challenges that you have on each side, and that means as well that you have different expectations from the system based on each specific topic: hardware, software, embedded, logistics, operations, support. So all those different factors
become actually quite complex within the system. And it is always difficult to begin and realize that it is complex, and you just need to take a step back, um, and be clear in regards of what you actually want to achieve. So I think that's one of the main yeah, complications we have as a general. And the next step would basically be to actually put it in movement and deploy a software release or deploy a module without actually having to customize it as much as you would initially think you would do. So yes, I hope that answers that question in that sense.
And there was actually a second part to this same question. It was, does everyone in Huddly use Odoo?
It's a good question. Huddly is rapidly growing. We hire people from different backgrounds. As a young company, people, as I mentioned in the interview as well, is that people bring a lot of stuff. So the goal for us now here in Huddly is to basically try to onboard as many people onto Odoo and have them use it the way the previous, or basically the more senior people in Huddly are using it, without having them or providing them the chance to actually use additional services. And I think we're succeeding quite well in it. And the next goal is literally to provide even more services within Odoo, so that we basically have even a larger entity of modules that can be linked into each other, so that we basically allow everyone to use Odoo in a successful manner.
Okay.
So that answers that question in a certain part. The reason why I'm hesitant is that we are literally growing quite a lot again, and we are mainly composed of engineers. They have their own platform, but more and more we see that we have some engineers coming overboard and actually begin to use Odoo for ticket system, PML, and those type of things. So I think that's really a great thing as well, to see more technical people to actually be onboarded on that platform. So yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. I have another question here from Dominic. What modules are the most in use at Huddly?
So we have multiple modules in use. As we said, we began with 2, we're close to 20 today. But the ones that are heavily used are the CRM, is the help desk module, sales, contacts, and the inventory. Those are literally the main ones. Because we literally take from a prospect over to lead to an existing customer, we ship it over to the end customer. That automatically becomes a contact in the CRM, right? And then the help desk, which we use in regards of post-sale support, where we basically are able to link in the queries from our customers. But recently, we are building up our internal support department as well. They are going to, or they are basically using extensively the help desk module. Our facility group is onboarded on that as one. And there's literally a synchronization of the different modules, and that literally helps us a lot. But yeah, the mentioned ones are the favorite ones amongst most of the Huddliers.
Okay. Let's see, what do I have next? Another question from Dominic. Do you have any specifics on the projects that you have in mind over the next year?
Where to begin? No, we have a lot of projects. I think what is in the queue for now, I think we have enough projects till Q3 2022. But I think the most important ones is basically the revision of our existing flows as a first, because we are much more mature as a company, but we're much more confident as well in regards to what we do with Odoo and what we want from Odoo. The relationship that we have with our partner Norway IT has come to a point as well where we're literally able to utilize them in a way that we can actually revise what has been implemented in the very beginning. So it is the revision of existing flows, procedures, but the next one is as well basically building up the customer success, is basically automation, is SLAs, and basically the personalization of the different modules for each specific department, which takes time when you have a lot of new people coming in. So those are the big ones. We have an insight in regards of more figures, reporting, finances, external API connections, onboarding external partners as well into our environment.
Mhm.
So there's endless amount of projects, and that's just what I have today. So who knows what comes tomorrow?
That sounds great. How about brand customization? What do you always need to keep in mind when doing customization and implementations?
It's a valid question, to be honest. We have been using Odoo for the last 5 years. We went from using Odoo as a standard platform. We went over to SH with a partner, had a lot of customizations done because we wanted to do all crazy. We wanted the way we wanted. And that's not always the easiest way. So we come to realization as well today that what Odoo provides out of the box might be sufficient for us. So the goal for us today is, let's take a step back. Let's revise what we have. What can we cut down and have it centralized out of the box going forward? So at some point, customization will be necessary because once again, we're a full stack company. So we're dealing with software, hardware, etc. We provide our products from design to production to delivery to our customers. So that has a lot of different steps in place. At some point, we have to customize. But I think we realize that today as well. Let's first see what Odoo brings us, and really, if necessary, customize accordingly.
Okay,
So,
good. Thank you. How many months, in how many months you went live from start? I think we have a few questions here about the integration process and
So I think my predecessor, who basically started with Odoo 5 years ago, I think she was up and running in a couple of weeks with the inventory and the CRM module. From there, we began building upon, but at the same time, we were quite a small startup with not much customers. But the great thing about Odoo is that you can literally implement, you can test on a staging server and push towards a stable version quite easily. So it depends on the complexity of what you're looking for, or it depends on the complexity of the different modules that you want to interconnect. But in most of the senses, like we have launched a complete new, or we have launched the warehouse and the barcode module some weeks ago. That was literally done in a week with the help of our partner. But nevertheless, it is pretty quick, to be honest. And what the servers provide already really helps you to do a kickstart.
Okay. And still about this integration process, how did you experience the deployment timeframe?
In general?
That's a question from Dominic. If he wants to maybe specify a little bit, we can jump to another question otherwise. Okay, let's take this one. How are you organizing all the different items in Odoo?
So as of now, we have basically our finalized products categorized in our stock. We have an external product working in regards of the PML environment, but it's extremely administrative. It's extremely manual. And once that process is done, putting it into Odoo takes even more time, and then you have two specific environments connected to each other, which is not helpful. So we're working actually on setting up a PML environment within Odoo, so that we have the different versions, the different builds automatically connected to the finalized goods, so that we can see the history, but we don't have to make that interconnection with the finalized goods or the code of that good. So as of now, that's how we work. And we actually have a new project that came in a couple of days ago, where we will implement all the different items for our packages into the system as well, so that we can basically place orders automatically from the system towards our external stakeholders and pull them into our storage. So there's, once again, a lot of new products to come, and I hope that answers that question.
That's yes, perfect. Thank you. And actually, the question from before, Dominic specified a little bit. He was wondering about the integration process and time frame of deployment, but the question was actually already answered before. So thank you, Dominic, for that. How much did the process of customizing Odoo to fit your needs cost in total over the years? That's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one, and I apologize up front. I reserve the right to keep the actual figures, but taking in consideration what we have used in time and money to deploy, customize different platforms in the past compared to what we do with Odoo today, even after 2 years of heavily developing Odoo, I still haven't reached the same amount that I would have spent on the other platforms. Obviously, there's a lot of things to be taken in consideration, but Odoo is quite easy and rapid to be deployed. The partners, there's so many of them that you can work with. Odoo is there to help to work with, and depends on how technical you are. You can spend quite some time on it yourself as well. So all things considered, I'm pretty happy to have onboarded Odoo compared to what I've used before in regards of time and money.
Perfect. Well, time is up. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you everyone for joining this Q&A session. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.